Hey everyone, I did some work for our locksmith client. I arranged some files about 4 days ago and hit a button and let the process run. Within about 48 hours, 2 days later, we started hitting the front page for totally useful keywords for cities in this area. So we canvassed this area to go for locksmith terms in the area, and I decided to save Seattle itself off for last because, it's very web savvy and the highest demand. But I went after the cities surrounding Seattle, and take a look. We're number 9 for this city, Sumner Locksmith, and we weren't just 3 days ago. So this is 4 days later. So after I did the work, it took 2 days to start getting on the front pages of these things, and over the next 48 hours, we started showing up for more. So I just want to walk you through this because this is called canvassing. It's really neat. Number 9 here for Sumner Locksmith. Medina Locksmith, which is where Bill Gates lives. That's where his home is out here. Medina Locksmith, we're number 10, so we're on the front page for that. Maple Valley Locksmith Store, we're number 10 for that. That's Maple Valley. And Bothell, we're number 9. Auburn, we're number 7. Issaquah, the city I live in, we're number 9. And then even Seattle Mobile Locksmith, okay, we're number 3. Now, there's not any searches for that keyword-wise, but Mobile Locksmith Seattle gets about 60 searches, but it has a keyword difficulty of 10, and we are number 11 right now on that much higher keyword difficulty term. So it's very, very cool that we're climbing like this. Let me see. Custom card solution. I'm switching gears here. So for our plastic cards client, keyword difficulty of 7. Okay, and we're number 13 in climbing. And it's just cool because these things add up. Like Issaquah, for instance, gets 200 searches a month. All these keywords, let me just say it. 20 searches a month, 20, 50, 100, 150, 200. Nothing for that, but 60 for this. Okay. Now, are we only up for those keywords? No, we're up for a whole slew of keywords. If I look up Issaquah car lockout, I'll find myself. If I look up Issaquah, lock and keys or lock and keys Issaquah, I'll find myself. Same for all these sites. So they all also get their own volumes. And so the stuff adds up as you go. But the point is, I figured out the relationships between domain rating, URL rating, referring domains, referring pages, and to the degree that ratings help, but they don't control. Look at this. Rating 4.8 with 44 reviews is right there, right? 4.8 with 44 reviews is right here. But that's 13 and 14. No reviews here, no reviews here, no reviews here, and it goes on and on. You can be on the front page and look at the results. You don't see reviews on many of these. And if there are reviews, there are. What makes it work? You add up in a way. It's not simply adding like a plus, but it's something like that. It's a combination of higher DR, higher URL rating, that number of referring domains, and to a much lesser degree, the number of referring pages. That kind of helps, but not that high. In other words, one backlink from one domain boosts your score. 2 backlinks from that one domain, like 2 different pages of that domain pointing at you, boost your score a little higher, but not much higher than 1. So it's not that big a deal. Anyway, and then the rating helps, but again, it's a combination of the scores that matter, right? So you can do it any which way. You can increase your DR a lot or increase your UR a lot, increase the number of referring domains a lot, get some ratings, and there's just certain breakovers for, what's higher than what. But when you go through these, you realize you can manipulate your results and force them to climb higher and higher and higher just by repeating what you're doing. And we've seen that now. I busted the myth about YMYL for a number of cases because we have 2 situations running. Some of our locksmith websites talk about dispatching out to local locksmiths, but doesn't claim to be a locksmith. Others of the websites present themselves like they are a specific locksmith, but when you call, it goes through a dispatcher, actually dispatches out to some locksmith in the area anyway. And what we find is that both are working if you play your scores right and if you do everything else you're supposed to do well. Well, our websites are hot. We know what we're doing. We're creating enough pages and action. So we're getting there. Having said that, okay, Plastic card, that's rising. That's really, really cool. Skincare, I want to switch gears entirely and talk about something else. What about websites that are not climbing when they should be? The keyword difficulty is only a 6, but the domain rating of this website is like a 47, okay? So what stops it from ranking high enough? Two things. One, there are no links to this very specific URL, okay? That's one thing, all right? Another thing is there aren't that many referring domains compared to others, but obviously we're like beating them, so that's not the highest thing, right? It's not the most important thing. And we're beating them on the UR, not the most important thing either. What's holding us down? I'll show you. When I went digging around and asking Ahrefs for the answer, I got on that page and I checked the source code, and guess what? There are 14 cases of HTTP : instead of HTTPS. So in the coding that's building the pages, some of those little source files like fonts from Google are using the HTTP link instead of the updated HTTPS. So even though the page itself is an HTTPS, it has 14 insecure links in it, so Google doesn't want it ranking. What do you think happens when we go back and update those supporting files in the back end and run that file updater through all the websites to fix any cases where that exists, and then let Google catch on? We naturally rank a lot higher because Google's only holding us down in this case for that reason. We see it. So we don't have any problems with no index. We don't have any problems with the canonical links. We don't have any other problems, and our scores are really good. That's the hidden piece. And the advantage of having Ahrefs is being able to see that clearly. This has been cool. So if we look at a site : for instance, for one of the websites, we see exactly, we see 71 results in this case. So it's doing well. There's only like 80 pages on that site right now anyway. So this is awesome. We were having a problem with a lot of the websites not showing most of the pages in the sitemaps. We were thinking, why not? Until we discovered the reason why. Google made a change this year. In like last year or before, sometime back, I don't know when, Google would look at your sitemap link in the footer, and as long as that's a clickable link from your homepage or any other page, because it's in your footer, then it leads to that list of clickable links for all those pages. That means you can click to any page from the home page, so they're not orphaned. These days, Google says that's not enough. You need to create links into the pages themselves that go through the pages. So we did that. We came out with the method of being able to get from, I got to clear excess spacing. We built a tool for that. We can put in all the websites and say kill excess spacing on the pages, and every page for every website just cascades and gets rid of those extra spaces, cleans them all up. That's cool. Take a look. We've got a link to the previous page, and it is the browser title link. Then we've got a link to the next page. And in this case, they happen to be up against each other. They shouldn't. We'll find a way to separate them out. But the fact of the matter is, well, I know why. We just need to make this align to the right while that aligns to the left. They're both aligning to the left right now, like 2 links in a row, right? But this is perfectly clickable just as it is to the next page, that to the previous page. Every page on the website has that. So as we go through all the pages of the websites, it's got a link to the page that came before and a link to the page that came after. And that's true for all the pages for all the websites. Matter of fact, do you know how hard that was for us to make happen? Not at all. We went to our remote control tool, put in the domains, said create those links, link those pages, and it created them all. Okay, so that solved the problem with what would otherwise be the sitemap links just being in the sitemap. Aside from that, of course, I don't think it's run here, but we have internal links that go inside the paragraphs, verbiage that matches the browser titles of other pages in the entire thing. Click through, right? So we have links in the paragraphs that guide you to other pages on the same website so that you can just navigate right away if you're interested in one of those other topics. Okay, so that's amazing. Now, one more thing that's really cool. I decided I wanted one more tool just to help really control what's going on, because we got it now. We see what it takes to rank. I can guarantee front page results for any keywords now. And the cost of a job would just be based on how much DR it takes, how many referring websites it takes, links pointing in at the URL, the standard stuff, and just the higher the difficulty of the keyword determines all the rest of what we have to do, but we can do it. And YMYL is not as big a concern as I thought it was. There are different ways to handle that. One is to just outright be a dispatch center. Say we are a dispatcher. In your literature, it doesn't have to be in your browser title, but it just has to be clear that way on the page. And that we can do. There's nothing that stops us from using a company name that allows us to be anybody. We can be a dispatcher. And we can say in the disclaimer in the footer that we're a dispatcher. We can make all this crystal clear. So we don't have to face a YMYL issue anymore. That is amazing. Now, the other point I want to make before I break off this recording is this. I wanted a tool where after I created all the pages, okay, they have different word counts. Some of the pages are shorter, some of the pages are longer, right? But I can't really see the word count on every single page anywhere, right? So if I create 50 or 100 pages on a website, times 100 websites, I know that every page has anywhere from like 297 words to 2,380 words, and that's great, because they're all different and Google expects that and likes that and everything. But what if I feel like some of the websites are not quite ranking high enough because they don't really have enough content on them? I want to be able to download a list. I want to put in the domains and say, give me all the pages for all these domains in Excel, just in a line. And for every one of the pages, show me the word count in the next column. Also, in the next column, show me all the number of internal links that point to other pages of the same site, and then show me in another column all the links or the number of links that leave the website and point at some other site. That way I can control everything at once. I can control if we have too few or too many of any of these things. I can go and deal with it, because we also have manual linking. We can decide to form links into pages that didn't get them naturally just on our own. There's so many ways to do it, and it's easy with our tools. So pages that don't have enough internal links, we can increase that. Pages that have too many, we can unwind it. Pages that don't have enough cross links, we can increase that to make use of those pages. Pages that have too many, we can unwind. We can reverse. Pages that don't have enough content, we can add to the content. There is no such thing as too much content. We already controlled that. So there's just not enough content we can append to it. So we can sort by the word count, say, to get the smallest word counts at the top, and then put those pages into a list and say, continue with the keywords, but append to the pages, don't overwrite. And it'll create more contents for the pages to make them longer. More words, and we even have so many different queries that we can run that create value. We can say, talk about the history of the thing, talk about the features, talk about the benefits, compare A with B and B with C and A with C. What are some facts? Include some references, link out to different things. We can literally do all that. And so as we cycle through and we're appending to the pages, we can shift to the next query, shift to the next query. We can change the queries around. First run query 1 through all the pages, then 2, then 3, then 4, that kind of thing. We really go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that kind of thing. But then we can shift that. We can cut one off the bottom, paste it on the top. So now it goes 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So as we're appending to the pages, we're adding new stuff that rounds out the topics even more. How is that? So the biggest things for ranking, get up the DR. The best way to do it is to get up the URL rating, the pages you want to rank, create backlinks with that keyword pointing here from different sites. You've got 10 sites here, each saying Issaquah Locksmith somewhere in the pages that have a link to the Issaquah Locksmith website main page. Why? Because my main page is on number 8 and I want it at number 1. So I'm going to create on 10 different websites that have some DR. a page that includes the verbiage Issaquah Locksmith. And then I'm going to make sure that Issaquah Locksmith is clickable to the main page of the Issaquah Locksmith website so that it ranks higher. Think bigger. I've got 50 websites. I'm going to create Issaquah Locksmith and point them at 5 or 10 Issaquah Locksmith sites. Collectively, I'm going to have Issaquah Locksmith. Some of those links point to the first site, Issaquah Locksmith. Some of them point to the second site, Issaquah Locksmith. Some point to the third site. So I take all my sites and get them all to rise for Issaquah Locksmith. That way I can have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or even 10 results on the front page for Issaquah Locksmith. They're all different websites. Google treat them well. No reason why not. They all have different phone numbers, different company names, different addresses. And if you call, there is somebody there to answer the phone who takes the information down, dispatches the call out. So this is crazy because we can do it for anything. We can do it for real estate. We can do it for plumbing. We can do it for roofing. We can do it for landscaping. We can do it for MLM projects. We can do it for anything. We can do it for something you would want to sell from ClickBank. We can do it for fitness terms. Just remember that the keyword profiles that you're after, some of those keywords are delicious and they require a lot more work to win. Just depends on the industry and the money backing it. Which do you think is easier, to rank for pest control in, I don't know where, South Bend, Indiana, or to rank for real estate agent San Francisco, California, right? Real estate agent in San Francisco. You know, exactly. Real estate agent in San Francisco is going to be harder, isn't it? There's more money behind those guys. So some of them are spending a good amount of money on the guys who are doing that kind of work. But what makes us better? Dollar for dollar, we can do a dramatic more amount of work with less money that is done correctly because of all the automation we have that I've never heard anyone else has. Never heard of anyone else able to do it like that. We can do it like that. The idea that you can just put in a list of source websites and a list of destination websites, as many sources as you want, as many destinations as you want, and say, just create backlinking through them. And all the sources will start automatically hyperlinking verbiage that matches the browser titles and the page names of the destination websites, page by page. Whatever the matches are goes to whatever the matches are. So it's really random and very natural. And yet, you'll get it because there will be at least one link per site, and there will probably be several, but it'll be perfect that way because that's exactly how you drive up the DR and through the UR on these websites. And then we can go back and fill in the blanks because we can look at the end results, see how we're doing, and see if we need to create more backlinks for specific keywords to specific pages, so we can write contents for those keywords on the source websites, and then that automatically make sure it creates those keywords in the context, and then those keywords will automatically hyperlink to the relevant pages over here because we'll just set that up. We just put in how we want that to work and say go, and it just creates it all. Okay, and we can decide how many follow and no follow we want the entire way, right? So we can absolutely create the right kind of a profile, and we can allow the system to create its own shingle term matches so that it's not like everything is an exact keyword. It's not. As a matter of fact, most things aren't. But as long as we get one exact keyword match per domain over to each of these things, then that's gold. If we get 2 or 3 in some of these cases, it's a little more golder. But there you go, total control. Okay, so I wanted to point that out. We're at a point now where we can do everything. We can do the work for you. We can let you come and get templates and do the work on your own. And I'm going to probably wind up creating a class for guys who want to do the work on their own. But for guys who want us to do the work for them, this is going to be a big deal. And what I would say, if you don't know, is, okay, I really did work this computer. All right. Professional services is where we do the work for you. Otherwise, getting a template, and there are templates here, but even just down low on the homepage, you'll find more templates. These 2 sections, don't worry that's called XFOG. It just means that we made those templates when we made a project for XFOG. but that allows those templates to be available for any other projects. See, all these templates that we used for XFOG can be used for anything you want. Okay, it can be plumbing, roofing, it can be MLM programs, it can be something you're selling on ClickBank, it can be anything under the sun. Okay, all you have to do, or all you have to do is decide what content you want, and even GPT writes it for you with your choice of 3.5 or 4.0, and then change the images, which if you ask us, we'll do, because we have that as a service when you're getting our templates. You can put in the content you want, then ask us to change the images, we'll do it. And then if you want, you can ask us for some color changes, a different color scheme, and we'll do it, but you don't need to unless there's a reason, right? Like if you're doing plumbing, blue is good, not red. But maybe you like the layout of the red one better, so you get it, do the plumbing, create the contents, ask us to change the images, we will. We can even do a logo as part of that, that's easy. And then you'll say, okay, now can you change it from, a red-based theme to a blue-based theme? Sure, no time, no effort on our part, that's so easy. So do you get the point? We help you build these things so you don't have to think. Right? You just go in and use the tools and give it some basic, like a paragraph of information about what you want it to do. And you can have it write a few pages for you. Just a little information each time around, and you just start generating these websites fast. And then cool tools like our table of contents and our previous next links are built in. You hit a button, it creates these things for you. You don't have to think. I mean, the thinking is minimized down to, what do you want your project to be about? Is it for a particular company or a dispatcher, or are you an affiliate? You just basically say, I want you to create this project. Go. And it'll do it. And it'll allow you to make choices along the way. It'll give you a bunch of options, and you can say that one and that one and that one, but not that one, not that one, that one and that one. And it'll create it. And then it'll say, do you want to edit anything? You can do it. And then you can save it, right? And turn it into a web page. And then when you're done with your contents, just ask us to update the images for you and let us know if you want any color changes. There's a button for customer support inside your template, whatever template you get, right? So there you go. How awesome is that? Anyway, there's a bunch of those and a bunch of these, and it's just a matter of what you really like, okay? Powerful. No question. So that's you doing it yourself. It's like half the price of us doing it for you, because the templates by themselves carry their costs. There was a lot of physical man hours and months that went into the developments of these templates at these levels. So they have their own costs. But then professional services, all that means is not only are we using these same templates on your behalf and doing it for you, but you've got our man hours as a result, right? So you're doubling up on our man hours, so it costs more. Having said that, we know how to make the websites great. We know how to make them rank. And if you want, give me a call right here, right? Or Skype me if you're out of the country, and we'll figure out what you need for your project and figure out pricing or a payment plan to accomplish it. And that way we can go within your budget to help you grow. And then as you start making sales from that, you can roll money back in if you want to grow faster, harder, for bigger keywords, or get more websites involved. So you can pay enough to get a phase one to happen. And then from your phase one, raise the money naturally for phase two, raise the money naturally for phase three. We're at a point now where we know exactly what we're doing. We can even guarantee results. And if you're on a payment plan, we can guarantee that the reports from month to month are moving at the right speed, or you don't make the next payment until we catch up. Okay, payments get paused until we catch up, and then they resume. So we want to keep going at the right speed. But the reason that I'm talking about it that way now more than I have in the past is because at this point we've done enough of this to see exactly how to do it, what it takes, and we know all the elements involved. So we're able to actually guarantee results for specific keywords that have volume, that will get you paid as you start to rank into them. As long as what you're selling is reasonable, decent, real, honest, worthy, then there you go. You'll get your share. All right. Talk to you soon.